Hey everybody, DeThShop at the DeThShop here. We're going to do something new today. We're doing something called Cooked to Death. Now my victim, so to speak, is going to be this little guy in here. Actually, he's not a little guy. He's actually almost 3 pounds. And it is a live lobster that I got today from the local market, and I'm going to make something delicious with him. Now, I do know that there's going to probably be a bunch of vegan people out there that are going to say, oh no, you shouldn't be killing live guys. I'll tell you what, this little guy here, he does not feel pain at all. I read up on this to make sure, because, you know, I don't want to be too cruel, otherwise I just knife him in the head. But we're going to steam him, and we're going to turn him into the absolutely most delicious lobster mac and cheese you have ever eaten in your whole entire life. So anybody who wants a recipe from me, you'll have to guess how much stuff I put into it, but I'll tell you exactly what the different items that I put into it in a bit here. But anyway, this is where we're going with this guy, and he's starting to wake up now because he's been in the fridge for a bit. He's pretty cold, but yeah, he gave me the good touchdown when I went to buy him, so I know that he's a nice strong guy. Well, I'm not even sure if it's a he, actually. I haven't lifted the tail. But we're going to prep some water for him and get it all ready to go. The other thing I want to show you is, we come over here. Say, bought a brand new pot for him. Stainless steel Dutch oven, should be just enough to get the job done with the steamer, with the tail. It isn't one of the super tall boys. Didn't want one of those, actually. I barely got enough room in my kitchen as it is. Got this at the local BBB. And it's from the Salt Company, Smart Affordable Life Tools, so shout out to those guys. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and unbox that real quick, and we will be right back. Okay, super quick, super easy. Already got it out. Took a look at my steamer here. You can use any steamer that you want, and this is a full fan that's fanned out, so you can tell that this puppy's probably going to be enough to take care of that guy over there, or girl. We'll find out which one it is before. But anyway, just wanted to let you know, yeah, you want to get your water right to where it's almost up but not touching. And then we're going to throw some salt in there. We're going to throw some lemon. And then we're going to turn it up to steam and get this one popping over here. It's going to take probably about 20 minutes once it gets up to temp to steam. I think I might put the water just a tiny bit over the top of that, so that way when some of that steams down, it'll be nice, because we've got one of them super fast turbo boil ovens. So we're gonna go ahead and get that prepped real quick, and yeah, might as well let you watch that. Set you up on the counter here. Grab the salt to toss in. You want to be real generous with the salt, by the way. This lemon's just for flavoring. Oh, and of course, make sure you take the labels off, because those don't make very good eats. Take the two ends, since there isn't much on there, and toss those. Throw the rest in there. Not worried about pitting them, because they're just going to end up going in the pan anyway underneath. Alright, let's come back over. And there's the lemon, there's the water. I put 2 extra cups of water in, so now it's up over the colander. But the thing is that it's going to end up steaming, and that's what we want. turning my turbo boil onto high. Hopefully we'll get that rocking. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some water ready for the pasta that I'm going to use. I'm going to use penne today because penne is a whole lot better than macaroni. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, and we'll come back when everything is a little bit further along. So yeah, this little guy is going to make a very awesome meal tonight. I just wanted to do one thing though, and just wanted to say thank you, because you're going to make an excellent meal tonight, and I just want to let you know that I'm going to do my best to do good by you and make you delicious. So I'm hoping that you can take what's coming, because you know that everything's meant to be eaten, probably even me someday, and by the worms, the bacteria. So don't worry, a few dozen years or so I'll get mine, but today I'm going to just try and do good by you. So don't worry, it won't be in vain. So I changed over burners because this one has a larger burner for the larger bottom, of course, and I knew I was going to start it on the turbo and then move it over for the prep, but as you can see, we've got the steam starting to condense on the sides here, and I think it's about ready. We give this guy his final bath over here before we throw him in. I just want to make sure that he's clean on both sides, because I know that he probably knows what's about to happen. He's probably pooing himself by now. Alright, guy. One last rinse for you here, bro. Like I said, I'm going to try and do good. See how he still raises claws there? He's got the touchdown thing going there. That probably tickles. I washed everything down the drain there. Alright, here's the part that everybody's going to hate. And why I knew this would work was because when they actually boil, they're going to get curled up and everything. So I knew that all I had to do was fit it over the top there. But as you can see, if he was in any pain or anything, he'd be like squalling around like crazy. But even his two tentacles are being very, very, very calm. They just don't have the nervous system for it. So it's not cruelty. It's just the circle of life. I'm not going to start singing, any copyrighted music, but I tell you what, it's just how things are. It's a eat or be eaten world, and this poor guy, he's making the sacrifice for us tonight, but it's not going to be in vain, because he's going to become one of the most delicious meals ever. So I'm going to do good by him. Anyway, I'm going to get back over to the turbo boil side, which got a couple lobster bits on it. Drips, I should say. I'm going to clean it up real quick. Hopefully not burn my towel. So I do need to get that stuff off of there. And then I'm going to start up with the noodles and everything. One of the other things I'm going to do is set my timer, or not my timer. Actually, I will set my timer for 20 minutes. He needs to be in there at least 20 minutes. Then I'm going to set my bake to 350, because let this preheat up, because by the time that it rolls, you can already see there, shell's already starting to turn, and he's not doing anything because he doesn't feel the pain like everybody says he does. What I will do though is my vent's going to go up to high, so it might get a little bit loud because of it. I'm going to have to come back over here and do some more prep after I wash my hands though. Just give me a second. By the way, I just wanted to say that this is my very first live lobster that I've ever cooked, so bear with me here a little bit. Trying not to be too corny, but I tell you what, I do appreciate the sacrifices that the animals make for us, especially if you have to cook them live, so you should definitely at least do what I do and thank them. Anyway, I'm going to throw some more salt into this water over here, and then we'll get that started up on the other side with the turbo boil. Say, by the way, you always want to salt the water if you're going to add pasta to it. Even more so if it's going to be fresh. And swinging back over, I'm going to do a real old school trick here to make sure this doesn't boil over. I'm putting a wooden spoon over it. And to those who say that this doesn't work, it does. I know for a fact it does. I think it just busts up the steam there. And as you can tell, this guy here, you know, we're going to reduce it from high. We're going to go down to about 4 to keep it boiling. And he's turning into dinner. We've got a lot of time left, 17 minutes and so. But yeah, the point is that, yeah, he didn't feel a darn thing. If he had felt something, you'd have seen more than just a slight movement in his well, I like to call him mustache. It's not really a mustache, but yeah, he's gonna have some fun tonight. Say a quick pan of everything in the house there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and grate some cheese. Got a brand new cheese grater, gonna see how it works. Hoping that I can do it by cyclic instead of by hand, because I've already tried the cyclic one on the stand mixer and it doesn't quite work as well, but we'll see how the hand one does. I'll be back in a few. Okay, I just wanted to let everybody get some action in on this here. This is that cheese grater I was telling you about. Now this is a softer cheese. This is smoked Gouda. I had this after the Parmesan. I think I went a little bit too quick on it. But as you can see, this does an excellent job and really quick on getting the job done. So big shout out to KitchenAid for making something pretty cool. You might have heard some crackling over here. It's because we got a little drip going on the back side there. Our guy's almost done. He's got 7 minutes. I do need to turn it down just a tad more, so I don't want those bubbles up. You can see my other bubbles over here getting ready to go, so I'm about ready to throw in some delicious stuff. And that little beep there was the oven telling me that it's up to temperature, so we're getting ready to really do some business here. So I'm going to shut this down off in a second here, and well, actually, yeah, I'm going to shut it off because I'm not going to show you adding penne to the water, because I mean, come on, it's just adding pasta to water. Everybody knows how to do that. Be right back. So hey, we're getting closer to time there. Got that rolling boil going. We got our little pasta stirrer here. This guy's almost done. Coming back over, we're gonna take a little look-see at how the cheese rolls here. Now, this one here is going to be cheddar, so we're going to see how the soft Gouda was a little bit troublesome to get out, but we'll see how the semi-hard like cheddar works. Saying, if you see the little stuff there, props to the producers of the fine cheddar tonight. So I used to live down there, so I'm kind of happy with any cheese from Oregon, truthfully. I've had some of the other ones, and they're a little bit milder. The ones from California, or hit and miss, actually, truthfully, but ones from Oregon are all great. As you can see, yeah, this one got a little bit stuck too, so definitely Parmesan's the best stuff to grate with this, but it does a fine job of grinding everything else. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make a nice little bed of cheese, of all the different types of cheese I'm going to put in here, with the exception of the very last one, which is going to be mascarpone, which that's going to go into the actual sauce itself, which is going to come here in just a bit because we're getting very close. This is also the reason why it's good to wash your hands a lot while you're cooking. Now I'm wondering how I'm going to clean this. Okay, that would be my timer. That would be the timer for the for Mr. Lobster there. So we're going to take a look real quick. There's our cheese. Come back over, hit our timer before everybody's ears go crazy. Alright, now if I did this right, which I do believe I did do this right, this should be par cooked, and that's what I want. I want par cooked. I don't want it fully cooked. It should be a little bit less than al dente and still have a bite to it. This guy can sit for half a seconds longer because he was a little bit bigger than most of the lobsters that I had actually had read about online, so he's going to take a little bit extra time, I do believe. So I'm going to go ahead and drain this real quick, toss it in some olive oil to make it just a little bit more healthy. I could toss it in butter, but we're going to go ahead and toss it in olive oil because that's just to keep it from sticking. I'm going to be right back, and then we'll deal with this guy. Alright, so here's what I got. I got some olive oil penne that is doing a great job of not sticking. I did shock it with some cold water before I put the olive oil on, just to keep it from cooking anymore. Got our guy who I'm keeping on for just a couple minutes more because when I used the little temp thermometer on him there, the internal was 167, and I wanted that just a little bit higher just to make sure he's safe to eat. So I don't want revenge of the critter that way. So anyway, yeah, Poseidon will deal with me later. So we're letting him go. I'm going to go ahead and shred the rest of this cheese into a bowl real quick, and that's going to be for the sauce, and I'm going to probably start on that sauce very shortly. Alright folks, this is the part where I call making a mess here. Here is our friend. He is all up to temp and everything, or he was all up to temp. Took him out with my tongs over there, and I'm just going to let him rest on this cutting board for a little bit, cool down for a bit so I can handle him. Got the cheese grated, I've got the mascarpone out. And yeah, if you don't want your stuff in this video, then well, you're gonna have to tell me and I'll try and fog it out. But hey, free advertising, guys. Say, if you want, I'll go back and tell you every single product that I actually have in here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the crazy stuff now. This is gonna be our sauce, and I'm gonna start with some people are gonna hate on me for this, namely the community that can't eat pork. So I'm gonna start with some bacon grease. Everybody should always keep a cup handy. Just don't keep it too close to your, don't keep it too close. The reason why I'm using bacon grease too, I'm going to use a little bit of bacon grease and a little bit of butter. I'm putting 1 tablespoon in just because I like it better. The other thing that you got to watch out for too is you got to make sure it's not rancid. So I've already done that. Because as everybody knows, rancid food is not delicious. So check your grease, check it off, and change it out once a month. Wash it down all the way, soak it down, and make sure it's good. Since I put a tablespoon of bacon grease in there, I'm going to go with, yeah, we'll go with about half a stick of butter. We're going to cook this down. We're going to turn it into a roux. You should, if you've done a bunch of cooking, you should know the term roux. Let me get out my spoon here. I took it out earlier and I'm trying to figure out where it's at. Actually, I didn't take it out earlier. I just put it on the side of the thing. As you can tell, I use these guys a lot. Woo-hoo. Good products. So this was just warm from it. I turned it down to 2 over there. So I turned it on to really low heat, but as you can see, this is already starting to turn into something nice. I'm just going to add the flour to it. It's roughly a 1/4 cup of flour. I might use more if I find out that I need extra. Basically right now we're just frying flour. Coincidentally, my friend Doug, the one who comes over and plays video games with me every Friday night, is on his way right now. He called me in between, so if he comes popping through the door at any time, you might actually get to meet him this time. He actually has a little girl that he's going to be, the one who calls him daddy, that he's going to be going and getting. And so this is going to be the last dinner that we're going to have together, and the last video game session for a little bit. So I'm just kind of making a special dinner here. But then again, 3/4 of the reason why is because our local grocery store went over there and put the lobsters, live lobsters. It's a live lobster event. I'm going to show you this real quick. And this is actually going to just darken a little bit. I'm going to let it darken just a tiny bit. And then we're going to add some really yummy stuff to it. Actually, right now what I am going to add, I'm going to add one very special ingredient. Anybody has a TJ's nearby, man? These guys are awesome. Little goes a long way, so we're just throwing a pinch in here. Actually, we'll throw a pinch and a half today, just because we're going to celebrate the life of the big guy who's come to dinner. It's going to give us a really nice yellow color. One of the other things I like to add in my sauces too, seem really weird, but turmeric. Just a little sprinkling. I never really measure anything, truthfully. The only thing I do is about that cup of flour. This is going to require a bit of salt, so we're going to throw some in. Actually, we'll throw a little bit more, although the cheese will probably do the job for that. Start right off the bat too. I got a nice pepper mill here. We're going to throw some pepper in. Oh, one of my personal favorites, paprika. I'm going to add a little bit to the top as well. mix this all up in our roux. Alright, that's looking pretty saucy. Time to add some cream and stuff. Boy, I barely have any heavy whipping cream. And you want to do this on low, which is why I started on low. That's because if you don't, your cream's going to scald, and scalded cream just tastes horrible. It'll ruin your whole dish. Put a little bit extra in there. This is not going to be for the faint of heart. Already is. Now I'm going to follow this up with some straight out milk because cream is very dense, and that's going to like totally make that sauce super thick. If I just add just cream. I might add just a little bit later on too. Now I am going to add one more special ingredient in here too. I'll wait for it to thicken up just a little bit. I probably should have done it at the end of the roux, but we'll find out here in a second. I just want this to thicken up, which means I'm going to turn the temperature up a little bit. Probably more to like a medium. Let me see if I can't get you a better post here. I've got this empty honey bucket in the corner, which you might have noticed on one of the flip arounds. And we'll see if we can't get a picture of the inside of the pan. There we go. How's that? Yeah, I'm definitely going to end up adding more of everything here. I'm just going to let it simmer for just a little bit. I'm going to keep my spoon in it if I want. I think I'm going to use this little rest over here that I got. It's actually a plate that matches the plates that I have. Alright, I'm going to give a shout out here to somebody. Recline Ridge. You guys make excellent wine. It's too bad that when we drank this vodkas, there's 3 of us here, so we each got 1 glass. We had just a little bit saved up, but guess what? Our friend over here that I'm just about to break down, he isn't going to mind one bit to go swimming in this. I should have done this before I added the milk, but it's not going to hurt it, I don't think. I've made them both ways before. This is just going to give it a little bit more flavor, and then what's going to happen too also is the sauce is going to end up cooking in the oven some more, so it's going to cook most of that wine out. But yeah, Recline Ridge is up in Canada and BC, and we visited them on one of our last trips. I'm not certain if you've seen any of the trips. You can go ahead and take a look at the rest of my stuff there. So, and while we're just waiting for this here, maybe I should fish out the saffron now that it's done most of its work. Actually I might just leave it today. My hands can take the heat, but I think I'll just leave it. It's fine. I just wanted to say too, if you're enjoying this video, feel free to take a look, like and subscribe to some of my other videos. I do a lot of games, been doing some projects at home. I will be doing some more of these Cooked to Death cooking shows. But I also want to let you know too that if you don't read the descriptions, I also have a Patreon account, and that's DeThaddr, DeThaddr at Patreon. And anybody who wants to see more of this stuff, I'd be more than happy to put more out. if we'll have a couple people that want to sponsor me. Say, I don't give out recipes for free, guys. Alright, so we've got this really bubbling. I think I will add a little bit more cream to it. Actually, no, I won't, because I'm going to do the mascarpone. We're just going to throw a bunch in here. And I do believe my one big metal spoon is dirty, which is a shame. Okay, I'm going to be using a slotted, so hopefully I don't waste too much. Whoa, that's a lot of mascarpone. Well, hey, if you caught that, I actually use my real name. Then again, if you go back and forth through the picture, since it is high definition, you know, you probably already seen what my name is, because I've already told you who my wife is. Mascarpone's awesome cheese. So we are gonna boom this in, let this cool. And this is going to get super, super, super happy doing this. Now, the other thing that I am going to do too is I'm going to pull myself out a tasting spoon. Now, I'll continually wash this and keep it clean, but I want to taste my sauce and see how it is. A little bit of salt. We did put some in with the noodles, but we're going to need even more here. And you really shouldn't shake this over a steaming pot, otherwise it'll clump. So now I'm going for the coup de grace. Tiny bit of nutmeg. Goes awesome in cream sauces. Okay, so here's our noodles from before our penne. And take a look at that. Shocking it, a little bit of olive oil, not really sticking together at all. One wanted to get away, and since I really cleaned my stovetop today, I'm going to try it out, and it does indeed need a little bit of time. Now if you take a look at my sauce over here, I was letting it go for a little bit, so it's doing a little crazy stuff. It's not quite ready yet because it does need one more thing. And if you saw earlier, you've been watching the whole video, needs the rest of my cheese. So we're going to add the rest of this cheese in. Now if you remember, this is the Gouda. It's a little bit of Parmesan, cheddar, all good stuff. Try not to waste it. This will tighten that sauce right back up. See, look at that. Alright, I think about this time it's going to need some extra pepper. So we'll hurry up and pull that real quick. We'll turn this down a little bit, because now we're trying to make fondue. A little fondue. Got some more paprika, because I love this stuff. Oh my goodness, I can really smell that Bacchus in there now. Wow. All right. Mix this up real good. Get ourselves that tasting spoon again. Oh, look at that. Woo! I do say that I'm going to be happy to put that guy in here. Alright. We are going to... Ooh, sorry about the camera there, guys. Boom! Put our pasta in there and take a look. Clean. Well, with the exception of a little bit of olive oil. That means I did it right. See, I could have just done lobster mac and cheese on the stovetop here. Look at that. That is already looking super, super tight. Alright. Now, if you need to know how to break down a lobster, I'm not going to show you in the video. Mainly since this guy here is going to take a little bit of work, and I don't think I can get him in at the same time that I can do me. So I'm going to break him down. Then we're going to add him to the to our bowl of fun over here, and then we're going to put that all into here, and then we're going to bake it up. And I'll be back in just a bit. So, all right, everybody, we got sous chef Doug here. Say hi, Doug.
Hey.
Welcome to the DeThShop. He's helping me out here. We chopped up a whole bunch of that lobster meat and put it in here. I still got a little bit of the legs to go, but I mean, here's our pretty much going to be the filling for our lobster mac and cheese. I had it off the heat for just a tiny bit of time, so we're letting it re-cook on in here, and then we're going to just mix this lobster in with it. It's going to be so delicious, and it's going to go in our casserole pan. I'm going to top it off with some grated Parmesan, some paprika, and then we're going to throw it in the oven. I'll probably bake it, probably because everything's pretty cooked now, about 20-ish minutes, somewhere in there. Anyway, I'll catch you guys a little bit later when we have that action going on. Say, all right, I've made a complete mess of my kitchen, but here we go. We've got the paprika on top, the Parmesan on top. Everything's all in the dish. Let's get ready to go into that oven. And I think that about 25 minutes. We'll give it 25 just to make sure. But also, if you take a little look over here, used a really cool trick with that. Guy was showing me on YouTube that you could go over there and actually take those legs and roll them out with a wine bottle. I actually use my European rolling pin to do it. But yeah, it comes out great, so definitely try that. Anyway, we'll catch you in just a little bit when we've got this as a completed dish. So now everything's all cleaned up. But there's still 10 minutes on the clock. Damn you, Tom Petty, I'll get you for this. The waiting is indeed the hardest part. Shh, Heather probably doesn't want me to tell you this, but she actually painted this herself. We haven't hung it up yet. It's going to be the wine tonight. Watermill Viognier from the Columbia Valley. It's out of Milton Freewater, Oregon. Pretty good stuff. And now I'm just going to set this over here, and we are going to see, well, you're going to see some Minecraft from Doug, and soon you're going to see the fruit of our labors here today. It's glorious. Let me turn on some lights here. filming under low light, but I think it was too low. Here we go. You can hear it sizzle. There it is. Lobster, well, penne and cheese. But we're going to eat some of this, and it's going to be awesome. Say, I think we really did that sea creature justice. Say, by the way, I was wrong about it too. I think I was calling it a guy earlier. It was actually a female, because the guys actually are the ones that have the little flap underneath their underneath the tails that you usually peel off when you break them down, but that one didn't have that, of course. Anyway, we'll see you in just a second when we're eating. Hey, everybody knows Heather. Say hi, baby.
Hi.
All right, we're going for the tasting here. Go ahead, try it out.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Doug.
All right.
You're on the spot.
Oh, yeah. That's very good. Very, very good.
All right. Hold it for me now. Anything that's in the picture, that's going to be me. All right, here we go, guys. See, DeThaddr from the DeThShop. This has been, well, what do I call this segment now? I think we called this one Cooked to Death, but this one wasn't cooked to death, and I'm gonna try my first bite. Holy shit! Wow, it's hot, but this is seriously good, man. I wish everybody could get a taste of this. This is seriously good. What am I doing what I'm doing? I should be a cook. Should be a chef. Anyway, everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Hey everybody, DeThShop at the DeThShop again. I wanted to do a little post commentary on here. Just wanted to say that I am my own worst critic when it comes to cooking, so the fact that I actually like the dish is a good testament that it actually was good, because I will actually tell Heather and Doug that if it's awful, I totally 100% will tell them I don't think this worked out, but that rarely ever happens. I did want to say that, you know, cooking a fine beast like that from a live state all the way to the plate, you know, I was really happy that I did great justice with that. And I was really happy with the watermark. Thanks for the Viognier, because that actually was a fine matchup for that. Anyway, this has been an episode of Cooked to Death. The only one thus far, but an episode of Cooked to Death will have many more to follow. This is your host, DeThShop at the DeThShop. Once again saying, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications if you want to see the latest videos. And of course, you know, if you want to throw up some support, we got the stuff in the info for that as well. Anyway, we'll catch y'all later. Take care. Everybody have a good night.